Hello, explorers. Charlie here. I just wanted to drop in and say June marks the start of Pride Month, and while we're all off celebrating, it's important to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible LGBTQ community within the Star Wars universe, both in the stories and among the fans who bring so much heart, passion, and creativity to this galaxy that we all love. Star Wars has always been about hope, resilience, and finding your place in the universe. And Pride is a reminder that everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and celebrated for exactly who they are. So, from our podcast crew to all of you, happy Pride and may the Force be with you always.
So be it, Jedi.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Always a pleasure to meet you.
And my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to episode 107. And as always, thank you very, very much for joining us. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating on your podcast provider of choice. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're joining us via YouTube. Now, since this format was so loved last month, we are doing it all over again. I'm your host, Charlie, and for this week's No Boys Allowed episode, I am joined by the greatest defender of the Force, Commander Taylor, and my favourite Kylo Ren, Sydney. Taylor,
Hello.
how's everyone's week been?
It's been pretty busy. It's like starting to get really sunny, and that means tons of people are coming to the zoo, and I'm all over the place doing stuff. So it's just been super busy. But how about you, Sid?
If I'm telling you the truth, I actually can't remember this past week. I can only remember like the last 2 days, not for any reason specifically, just I don't think I did anything this week. But it was pretty good. It was still pretty good. It was a nice chill one.
I wish I had your week.
Yeah. Charlie, did you have a cheeky little fun fact for us?
I do. I really, really do. Before I do that, though, my week was really quite slow and steady. And then I have had the busiest weekend of my entire life. We'll get into it in the Force Encounters, but right now I am tired. I am really, really hoarse sounding, so I genuinely apologize to our listeners. But our fun fact. Now, I didn't initially mean for the last kind of 3 in a row to be Phantom Menace related, but here we are again. Did you know that the words sung by the choir in Duel of the Fates actually mean something? The lyrics originate from a Welsh poem called Cad Gadot, which means Battle of the Trees, about a magician who animates trees to fight for him. The poem reads, "Under the tongue root, a fight most dread, and another raging behind in the head." Take that as you will. John Williams selected lines from this poem and then translated it into Sanskrit, which is what the choir are actually singing.
It's
John
creepy.
Williams proving the genius that he is once again. Thinking outside of the box forever and always, and scarily so, truthfully. That's terrifying. Only slightly.
Let's just head over to Force Encounters, okay? Let's do that.
For my ally is the Force.
I will start off this week's Force Encounters. Oh my goodness. I attended a really, really, really cool convention this weekend called UKGE or UK Games Expo. Now, my little innocent old brain over here thought that this was a video game convention. It was not. UK Games Expo is about TCG card gaming, so Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Dungeons and Dragons, and every possible kind of tabletop game or board game that you could ever conceive in your entire life. Now, for people who've not been to the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, it is a huge place, and this convention took up 4 halls of anything and everything. The things I have seen and the things I have experienced over this weekend, I think I might have to turn into a whole little video where I include pictures and videos because just so much went on. But my biggest force encounter is that after nearly 6 months with Saber Guild, I finally did my first choreographed lightsaber routine in front of people, and I didn't make a mistake, and I didn't hurt myself or the other person, and I look really cool, and I'm extremely proud of myself.
Oh, that's
Yay! I'm so
amazing.
proud.
Oh, that's so
That's
fun. Oh my
so
goodness.
cute.
Thank you. It was wonderful. And also a second little special shout out. I had a very lovely hug from a little girl who was dressed as Padawan Obi-Wan, and she must have only been about 3 or 4 years old. And she had the braid and the Jedi robes and the little boots. And we took a picture at the end. And I like to kneel down with kids because I'm quite tall for people who are listening. I'm sort of like 5'10", 5'11". So I like to kneel down with very small kids because sometimes I can be a bit intimidating. And as soon as I knelt down, she leaned on me and leant her head on me and gave me a hug. And it was quite possibly the most beautiful thing in the world. And I hope that she knows I will remember that for a very, very long time.
Oh, it's
Please,
such Star Wars magic.
absolutely Star Wars magic. Taylor, please take the microphone away from me before I start crying. Thank you.
Got it. Got it. Okay. My first encounter, I actually started playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga again, and just this week, I don't know why, I just whipped it out. It's hilarious. The stupid little like jokes and stuff that they fit in everywhere is so great. But this morning I just finished the like the Rise of Skywalker chapter. So I just like, and like my kid's like watching, she's like, oh my gosh, like it's a total TV show. And I'm like, don't worry, it's just Lego. Like, but so that was fun. I got to play that. But this weekend I went and I got my PAL. So in Canada, it's your possession and acquisition single of like you can use firearms and such. So I've done the test and everything. But while he was the instructor was talking about the different like the different guns and rifles and stuff that he had this like this single action revolver, and he goes, yeah, this is like the John Wayne version. Yeah, and he's like going up, and I was like, oh, I actually know John Wayne's grandson. And then I was just like, but I'll just leave it at that. Like it was a little bit of a everyone else is just like, oh, that's cool. And I'm just like, I'll just keep the Star Wars fact to myself. But all you guys know. So that was pretty fun. Little force encounter for myself there. What about you, Sydney?
So you'll hear a little bit more of this like a little bit later on. But so I was doing some prep for the show this evening. So this happened today. I was really, really stressed. I was like, I don't have a force encounter. I always struggle to think of one, and then something just manages to pop into fruition. I was doing some prep for the show. And while I was researching, I came across a name that I wasn't sure how to pronounce correctly. It wasn't like a Star Wars name. It was like somebody's actual real life name. And I felt so bad, but I sound like a real stalker, but I found his profile in the comments on a Facebook post for something I'll speak about later. It makes sense once you know the context. I'm not a stalker. I didn't stalk this person and hounded them to tell me how to pronounce their name. No, I found them in like the comments of a Facebook post, and I was like, it can't hurt to ask. If they don't reply, then that's fine. It's not a worry. I'll just have to go off what I think. But he did reply. The wonderful Barry Ginjal, I think is how you pronounce his name. Barry Ginjal, he worked on season 1 and 2 of Andor behind the scenes and also appeared on the show. He took the time to reply to my message, and we actually had a really nice, genuine conversation, not just about his name, but also about the podcast and Star Wars and behind the scenes sort of things. It was really, really nice. It was just like a really unexpected interaction with somebody who's worked on Star Wars. And even though I think some of my replies seem fairly poised, I was sat in this living room like, oh my God, he's actually worked. I can't believe he's worked on Star Wars.
That's so
So
fun.
thank you to Barry. I hope I said your name right. But if not, you have full permission to block me on Facebook. I wouldn't blame you. Even if I did say your name right and you were like, actually, I'm going to block this crazy chick, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's fine. Totally fine. Not a problem. But yeah, that was my forced encounter for the week. I think we should probably see what news is being reported on Batu.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview probably would be the only chance to see the Empire Strikes Back without standing.
Reporting live from Batu. Actually, no, I'm in my living room. Mark Hamill recently explained why he doesn't want to return for the new Jedi Order movie. In an interview with comicbook.com to promote his new movie, The Life of Chuck, which also stars Tom Hiddleston, fun fact, Mark Hamill has shared why he does not want to portray Luke Skywalker in the upcoming new Jedi Order movie starring Daisy Ridley as Rey. He said, I'm so grateful to George Lucas for letting me be a part of that back in the day. The humble days when George called Star Wars the most expensive, low-budget movie ever made. Hamill said, we never expected it to become a permanent franchise and a part of pop culture like that. But my deal is, I had my time. I'm appreciative of that, but I really think they should focus on the future and all the new characters. Hamill then made a joke about another reason why he wouldn't return to Star Wars. And by the way, when I disappeared in The Last Jedi, I left my robes behind, and there's no way I'm going to appear as a naked Force ghost.
He's such a
I'm not
jokester.
sure. I'm not sure I want a naked Force ghost appearance either. So I'm happy for him to leave it at that.
Hold
Genuinely.
up, it depends on the Force ghost. Okay, so we might want some.
Well-
Maybe not him. Maybe young Luke.
Ladies, please. Taylor, do you have anything to report?
Ladies episode, right? Okay, next. Fortnite fans, Battle Royale Island is under threat. The Death Star super laser is charged and Emperor Palpatine is ready to give the order, but there's still a chance to save the island. The season-ending live event Death Star Sabotage kicks off Saturday, June 7th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that, guys.
I still haven't played any of the Star Wars Fortnite things,
No.
and judging like last time, I was like, oh my god, yeah, there's Star Wars Fortnite coming up, and I was so excited, and then it came out, and I was like, I just haven't had the time to play anything. I just really haven't had the time. When the reality is, it's such a big update that I'm not sure my PlayStation can actually handle it. With
Just delete
the
everything
amount
else.
of games, the amount of unfinished games I have on there, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get round to it, and it's like, no, I will get round to the last installment of Star Wars Fortnite before it goes away forever again. Not forever, for a little bit, for a while, for a long time. But moving on from one of my favorite video games ever, we have some absolutely incredible, strictly UK based for now, I'm afraid. So sorry to anyone who isn't in the UK or can't travel to the UK for these events, but you're missing out, I'm afraid. So first up, we have the And More event. And you may have noticed that And More sounds a lot like the hit series Andor. And that makes you my smart little rebels, because And More is a one-off fan-run Andor-based event. This event wants to showcase the creative process from the absolutely incredible crew who worked behind the scenes to give us the beauty of a show that is Andor. And the thing is, you might be thinking, why is it only Andor? Why not run a broader, like Star Wars just based event? Why is it only Andor? But there is an actual answer for this. The wonderful people who are running this event have noticed that Andor is yet to receive a gallery series, the Star Wars behind the scenes, like little documentary that they usually release on Disney Plus. And there's actually currently no behind the scenes content that's longer than like 3 minutes. So yeah, these guys at this event have decided we're going to give some of the crew like a real spotlight and a chance to talk about the incredible work that they did, which I think is really lovely. It's really, really nice. It's nice to see it's not just the actors and the writers that are getting a lot of the credit, which obviously they should, but there's so much that goes into making a project like this. Everyone deserves to have a little bit of that spotlight, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah. For sure.
There's an absolutely fantastic guest lineup for this event, including, I have to take a really big deep breath because there's a lot. So bear with me. Coming up, we've got Luke Hall, who was the season 1 and 2 production designer. My good friend Barry, shout out Barry. Barry Ginjal, season 1 and 2 lead graphic designer, and was also on screen in Andor as Anto Krieger, which he has his own Wikipedia page, which is really, really cool. It's really, I was deep diving onto that like massively. I was like, wow, that's really, really cool. We have Dominic Sicking. He was a season 1 and 2 lead graphic designer. Teresa Hudkova, season 1 and 2 graphics assistant. Solomon Honey, season 1 and 2 art director for set decoration. Samantha Redwood, season 1 and 2 senior assistant set decorator. Rob King, season 2 assistant set decorator. Sorry, these are really like long things to like spool out.
Tongue twisters.
There is Jake Lunt Davies, season 1 and 2 concept designer. Lee Towersey, season 1 and 2 droid builder and operator, which is really, really cool. Tim Berry, season 1 and 2 senior animatronics designer. And recently announced TJ Falls, season 1 and 2 VFX producer. Mohan Leah, season 1 and 2 VFX supervisor. And Marcus Dryden, VFX on-set supervisor. And that is it for now. As far as I know, that is it. And yeah, as you can see, it's a crazy list of guests who have worked absolutely tirelessly on probably the best piece of Star Wars media I've ever seen. Whether you want to agree with that or not, that is up to you. But they, I think they deserve their due diligence. Yeah, if it wasn't for this group of people and their teammates, we wouldn't have Andor at all, let alone at the absolutely insane high caliber that it is. So yeah, like I said, they deserve to have a little bit of that spotlight, even if it is just a little UK event. They deserve it. So if this event does sound like your jam to anybody who's watching or listening, whether you're a VFX enthusiast, a budding droid builder, or just a Star Wars fan who wants more Andor, because who doesn't? I'm missing it so badly. Make sure to head over to Fordingbridge Town Hall in Hampshire on the 7th of June to make sure you don't miss out. How good does that sound as an event?
Well,
I mean, that's pretty crazy, right?
If I wasn't already sold after that absolutely stellar presentation, I'm booking my tickets right now. Taylor, are you hopping on a plane? Like, I'm happy to get your tickets. Like, let's go.
Oh my God, that would be
goodness.
amazing. It would be amazing. I've always liked the behind the scenes kind of stuff like this. Like I love watching the ILM stuff, all the behind the scenes. I'm like the person that saves random pictures from behind the scenes from all the films and the TV shows that you see. I love that stuff, right? Like, oh, behind the scenes, they were so goofy and yet they're so serious here. Like, just, this is like my thing right here, and it's crushing me that I'm like practically on the other side of the world. What the heck?
It's okay. If you swim over, I'll drive us down because I can't drive, but I'm desperate to go. So
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
You know what? I'll start swimming now. It's fine.
But this actually is not all. I said UK-based events, plural. There's another one. Hold on to your hats because I'm really excited about this one. I'm really excited about this one. Later this year, from the 19th to the 21st of September, Star Fury Invasion returns to Birmingham, and that's Birmingham here in the UK. So sorry to any US Birmingham inhabitants. I know there's another one. I don't want any confusion. I don't want people in Birmingham, US to turn up somewhere.
There are multiple Birmingham USAs. So we will just clarify that is Birmingham, United Kingdom, I'm afraid, everybody. The
It's
original
Birmingham, United
will.
Kingdom, the West Midlands. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not in the US. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is UK. It is the United Kingdom. I don't want to be held responsible for anybody traveling to any one of those Birminghams.
But Sydney, please tell us about what is so special about Star Fury.
So, Star Fury Invasion never fails to wow with their guests, which they've managed to do again this year. I don't know how. Last year was incredible, and they've just managed to top it again. The guest list is currently as follows, and it's not quite as many as last time, so that's okay. As the last list I just read out, so we won't be here as long. That's okay. So starting up, we've got Ivana Sakno, Shin Hati from the Ahsoka series. We've got Elizabeth Grillon, Trilla Siduri from Jedi Fallen Order. Tina Ivlev, who was Merrin in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. I'm very excited about that one. I'm also very excited about this one. Katie O'Brien, who was Elia Kane in The Mandalorian. Oh, she was beautiful. She was a beautiful lady. Moving swiftly on, sorry. Wes Chatham, who was Captain Enoch in the Ahsoka series, the guy with the gold. For anybody who can't immediately picture one of the millions of Star Wars characters, he was the trooper with the gold face in Ahsoka. He was always next to Thrawn. Oh God, Charlie, you're going to lose it for this. We've got Denise Go, Dedra Miro from Andor season 1 and 2.
So
she's going to be there.
Not only is she appearing at Star Fury, Miss Denise Goff, oh my goodness, she appeared in the Explore the Force Instagram comments. So we posted a video of forgive me, I have forgotten her name, the actress who plays Vel in Andor, of her on set doing her thing, vibing, and out of nowhere appears a comment from Denise Goff herself that says, "I love her." And of course, we all immediately lost our minds. So, friend of the show, fan of the show, mother herself, Dedra Miro will
That
be
is
appearing,
Mother.
and I am
She is Mother.
mother. I'm unbelievably excited. Exactly. Do continue, Sydney. Sorry.
It's like, no, she needed her moment, to be honest, because she is Mother. She's my space mother, mother of space. We also have Paul Darnell, who actually has a few Star Wars credits, which is really interesting to me. He was Cobb Vance's stunt double in The Mandalorian season 2. He was a Nightwind assassin in Book of Boba Fett, and he was also Marok in Ahsoka. So he's got like quite the repertoire going.
Oh, I like that.
It seems like Star Wars is just like, get him back. We need him back.
He's good.
And he's good. Get him quick. We also have Jacob James Beswick. I really don't know how to say his name. I think it's Hart. Heert. Heert. Listen, Star Wars names are hard. We've learned normal, real-life human names are hard for me, so Star Wars names are infinitely harder. You will forgive me. But he was also in Andor season 1 and 2. And last but not least, we have Elizabeth Dulau, Clea Markey from Andor season 1 and 2. An insane guest list. Like, absolutely crazy. I was writing this all down and like looking at everything, and I was like, are we sure all these people are like just willingly coming to Birmingham? UK, might I add. Yeah, Star Fury Invasion is a 3-day long event with plenty of opportunities to meet these guests, have autographs and photos, and it seems to be an event that really focuses on interactions between fans and guests, which I think is really cool. It's a different approach to a regular convention where it can feel like the interactions are super limited or a little bit rushed because there are like a million people behind you who also want to meet that person. So it's nice to see that there are more opportunities to spend that bit more time with the person or the people you want to meet. So yeah, make sure you don't miss out on this one. Last year was an absolute booming success. It was like literally anything anybody spoke about Star Wars, somebody in the UK, like a UK cosplayer, was like, yeah, I met that person. Yeah, I met them in Birmingham. Yeah, I met that person. And I was insanely jealous. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm totally not jealous that you met Sabine last year. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, this is an insane lineup with some pretty incredible opportunities. But I want to ask, if you guys had to pick just one of these guests to meet, who would it be?
There
Mother.
was a lot of them.
Dedra.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you would say Dedra. Out of everything, I was like,
Hands
Charlie will say Dedra. I know Charlie will say Dedra.
You know what? Because she took that one out, I'll just go for it. I what's the actress that played Clea again?
Elizabeth Dulau.
Yeah, I would actually be super interested to meet her because she apparently just got right out of acting school and this was her first job. And she's amazing. Like we've seen her like
Yeah.
try to think back to like season 1. She was like sneaky stern and like she's the one who's like running the antique shop really. Like it's not really Luthen, right? She's super smart and then we got a big like we explored so many of these crazy emotions out of her like right off the bat. Like this was a really hard job for someone straight out of acting school, like at least I would think so, and she nailed it like so good. So I mean I would absolutely love to meet her, but the Merrick actor sounds pretty cool too because he's been so many other things.
Oh yeah, he's
Paul Darnell. Yeah, I'd like to meet him too.
Clearly pretty incredible. Like the fact Star Wars are like, hey, do you want to come back? And he's like, yeah, okay. Like, do you want to come back?
There.
Yeah. I'm round the corner, so it's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, I was already waiting outside the studio.
Like, I actually live here, so it's fine, don't worry.
What about you, Sydney? If you had to pick one of these,
So I think mine would have to be Ivana Sakno. Not like I can't wait to see my most anticipated, like now Andor's finished, my most anticipated like series to see again is series 2 of Ahsoka.
Yes.
Shin and Balin, like they are what got me in Ahsoka. Like I enjoyed Ahsoka anyway, but they are what was driving me, what I was there for. And there was a convention called Echo Base Live where I I did like a really kind of shoddy Shin-Hati cosplay, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So I would also take the opportunity to just like upgrade it that bit more and then be like, hey, I'm you. Hope that's fine. No, I think, yeah, she would have to be like my number one guest to meet. That would be absolutely incredible. But we'll see. We'll see. 19th to the 21st of September. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, speaking of Ahsoka, next up, Rory McCann discusses succeeding the late Ray Stevenson as Baylan Skoll and how he believes it's the right decision to carry on the story of Skoll. See the full interview over at comicbook.com, and we have a cheeky clip on our main Instagram page.
Fantastic, everybody. What an absolute roundup of news. Goodness gracious me. Oh, Star Wars, what a wonderful time to be a Star Wars fan, wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, it's the best time.
Truly.
We're spoiled
We are
right
spoiled.
We're so spoiled that people are whining because there's too much Star Wars coming out. Those guys can just shush.
They
can shush. And on that note, we shall
And
speed over on. End scene. We shall speed on over to our main show. Let me set the scene. It's Star Wars Celebration LA, Day 2. The lights on the main stage lower, and slowly a title card comes into focus on the screens. The crowd are holding their breath in anticipation. There have been no rumours, no casting announcements, not even a hint on social media. It is a complete surprise what's coming. All we know is that it is a brand new Disney Plus series. Hello, explorers, and a welcome to this week's main show, where Taylor, Syd, and I will be discussing our picks for the next Disney TV Plus series. A gentle pitch meeting, if you will. I don't know about you ladies, but not only did I love the Kenobi series, but I really loved what it represented for the future of Star Wars storytelling. And for this discussion, I'd really like to hear what you guys would want to see next in terms of a single character driven story. And if everyone's okay with that, despite the way my voice is sounding right now, I would love to start us off if that is okay with everyone.
Go for
absolutely.
it.
Thank you. Now, I intended this to be a very brief set of notes, and what it turned into is like a full story breakdown. So we'll see how long this rattles on for. Now, this might seem like a bit of a wild choice, but I would really, really love to see a show specifically about Palpatine / young Palpatine.
Oh,
When we're introduced to him in The Phantom Menace, there is a seemingly infinite stretch of time from that specific moment all the way back to his birth that as a viewer we know nothing about. For example, Palpatine has known Padme since she was a child. I want to know his political journey, his childhood. There are so many aspects of such an interesting character that I have always wanted to see explored. How are we feeling? Are we in?
I'm in. I was
Yeah.
in before you set the scene. Did you not see me? I was here. I was experiencing it. I was in LA. I was
Oh.
unseen. I'm only just out of it to answer this question.
Fantastic. That's what we love. We love commitment. Now, I'm going to hit you guys with some possible titles. These
I'm getting
came
back in.
out of my brain on an absolute whim. We have Sidious, a Star Wars story. Nice and simple, classic, follows the Kenobi format. Feels like that would fit quite nicely in the catalogue. Or The Dark Apprentice.
Ooh.
See, I feel like that could be.
Yeah, I think The Dark Apprentice is the way to go. However, small note, if somebody asked me if I was watching The Dark Apprentice, I'd think they were talking about like Alan Sugar and like him being really evil, but evil Alan Sugar he doesn't do you're fired, he does only strictly you're hired. Because he's evil Alan Sugar and he's known for doing you're fired.
For Taylor, who I feel looks a little confused for anyone who isn't aware, Alan Sugar is a business mogul who does a TV show in the UK called The Apprentice. And I think there's like The Apprentice US. I'm not 100% sure.
He's our version of Donald Trump as the apprentice, like on The Apprentice. Donald Trump is the US's, like he was on The Apprentice. He was Alan Sugar.
Oh my goodness.
But we have Alan Sugar.
Okay. I understand. Us Canadians are just confused over here. It's fine.
It's fine. You're okay. You're okay. It's fine. But yes, sorry, Sidious.
I would watch. Okay, I would watch any Star Wars show that came out. Let's just be honest here. But I would watch the cark out of this. Like I've read the. Oh my goodness. What's the book? Shoot.
It's Darth Plagueis. I'm
Yes,
assuming you're
okay,
referencing.
yes, that's what I'm trying so hard, but I apparently just can't. Brain cells. Yeah, so I read the Plagueis book. It's Legends, obviously, like so. I mean, they can't technically count it, but it's so good you
Hmm.
have to count it. But they're even in that book. There's little like misses and stuff of his life, and there's some
Hmm.
cool things about what happened as he grows up that I want to see. I want to see it because it's so evil but good, and he's confused, and his dad hates him. Oh, if you haven't read the book, go read it. But I think they would probably change it completely if they made it a series. Like they would.
So
So
I'm really, really glad that you brought that novel up because I was going to
mm,
start talking about some ideas for kind of the plot summary of what I would like to see. But obviously, I cannot talk about a young Palpatine story without talking about Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, which is arguably one of the most popular and the most kind of recognized like Star Wars Legends books.
yeah,
And I know that a lot of fans would agree that if this series were to be made, we would all want it to follow like the incredible Legends novel. And like there are beats in this that I think could complement the story fantastically. His noble birth on Naboo, he's discovered by Plagueis, and there's a lot of manipulation that happens, very much similar to Anakin's story. Palpatine studies kind of the dark side and the political systems of the Republic, and
yeah,
there's so much in there. However, I think the book deserves a chance to stand on its own and remain such an iconic part of Star Wars literary history. I know that like you said, Taylor, I know Star Wars has pulled from Legends content in the past, but the opportunity for a fresh story that draws on all 9 films and concurrent series could make Palpatine potentially one of the main characters in Star Wars. I feel like
yeah,
he could end up with that same status as like Luke and Leia. I think it'd be a great place to add backstory for the Sith cult from Rise of Skywalker, expand on the cloning sagas. There are gaps, I think, that are waiting to be filled.
yeah.
So,
Agreed.
my idea for the whole kind of plot is that it would be kind of like 9, I guess. I'd be greedy and say 12 episodes because more Star Wars is good Star Wars if you ask me.
Yeah,
That each episode would be like a capsule, so beginning, middle, end, and each episode would take place in a part of Palpatine's life. So before his birth, so we get an idea and an introduction of his parents and his family, and that way you could also have kind of inklings towards Darth Plagueis, because obviously between the Phantom Menace and the end of the Acolyte, if we go back on the timeline where
mm,
we see Darth Plagueis, there are 100 years, so there is a lot you could trickle in through all of that. And I think each episode going through a stage of his life, there is so much I could say about this, but do you guys want me to carry on?
oh, there's just so much. I love it. Oh my
Only
god.
if you can.
Only if I can, lest my voice crawl out of my mouth and fly out of the window.
Yeah.
You turn into Plagueis. You're like,
I'm
if I had my own series.
And I think whilst the Darth Plagueis novel obviously focuses mostly on Plagueis, and we get these kind of weavings through of these little bits of Palpatine, and obviously that culminates towards like the end of the story. I think flipping that and having a Palpatine heavy narrative with these whispers of Plagueis, so it feels like there's a shadow brewing. We get this idea that something really sinister is going to happen. And I think that way you'd end up honoring the Legends content whilst also creating something really fresh. I think the
Yeah.
idea of having these kind of pocket episodes means, and like you could do an Andor, a Mandalorian, have a different director for each episode. Bryce Dallas Howard do it right now.
Yes. Oh my god.
I
Thank
feel like she would
you.
snap that up. She'd be like, I'll
She
do
would.
it.
Yeah. She likes all the
Now,
good emotional stuff.
Oh,
she does.
100%.
I could talk about the plot until my hair turns grey, but what I'm most interested in is fan casting. So I love me a bit of fan casting. It's one of my favorite little pastimes to pass a little bit of time away. And by far the most popular result that comes up when you type in Palpatine fancast into Google is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it.
Okay, two very different reactions from the room.
It's not that I can't see it. I think, but no offense to Ian McDermott, but I just find Tom Hiddleston is like unnecessarily attractive, and I'm not sure like how like is this not the assification of Palpatine? by casting Tom
Maybe.
Hiddleston as Palpatine, a young Palpatine. Sorry,
For
I don't
anyone
know.
who has seen, had the pleasure of seeing Much Ado on Stage, which was Tom Hiddleston's last play, I have.
Oh.
Oh, so camp, so fantastic, so over the top. I feel like he could bring some real that plus like the Loki evil energy, 100%. However, I still don't think it quite visually fits for me. Also, love Tom Hiddleston. He's in his 40s now. I need somebody a little bit younger, a little bit, or could
Right.
potentially slightly de-aged to look a little bit younger. I've seen
Mm.
Jamie Campbell-Bower, which I think is an interesting choice. Timothy Chalamet, which not my fave.
Mm. Mm.
I'm just bored of him being everyone. He
Slightly,
Yeah.
doesn't
yeah.
need to
Now,
be everybody.
everyone, I need you to contain yourselves. This is a throwback to last month's All Girls Only episode. One of the other suggestions for fan casting is Jeremy Allen White. Ge- However, unfortunately, we have lost a good soldier to Rota the Hutt,
To Stinky.
to Stinky Rota.
Oh.
However,
Oh, but he would have been really sorry. He would have been really good. He's like, I find him really attractive. I find him really attractive, but like, he's like odd attractive. Like
Mm.
you
he
could
fits in
make
that,
him ugly, I think.
yes, in that kind of unique,
Good mate.
interesting category.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
my actual kind of personal fan cast goes to Billy Howell, which is a name you might not recognize, but he played Dathan, Rey's father in Rise of Skywalker. Now, I know that might seem like a strange choice, but I feel like since we've already seen him, even though it was incredibly briefly, I feel like it would tie everything together because technically I tend to interpret that Dathan was like another failed Palpatine clone. So
mm.
at some point there has to be, I feel like it would weirdly make sense. Like the fact that we've seen Tamara Morrison's face kind of in all of the clones and Boba Fett and kind of all over Star Wars, I feel like that ties into kind of the Star Wars history of it as well. So
Yeah, I would.
I think that wraps up my pitch for The Dark Apprentice. I like that title. I'm sticking with that one. Thank you. Thank you.
It was very good. If I was a Disney exec, I'd be like, we're doing it. 10 million, we're doing it.
10
We'll
million.
spend
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, we're doing it on a budget compared to like most Star Wars projects. We're going back to 1977. We're doing the most expensive student film ever. That's what we're doing. No, I'm here for
Sydney.
it. I would 100% watch that.
Mm, me too. Definitely.
Okay, so we have the room's approval. Fantastic. That's being added to the docket for the shows in the next couple of years. Wonderful. Well done to me. Sydney, the floor is yours.
Okay. I want to preface this by like I went I just I'm overwhelmed by my own content. I went
Love it.
like
Love it.
I went like a bit like hard on this. Like I went a bit like over the top, but also not enough. Like I feel like there's so much more I could have said in just this pitch. But we'll just get started. We'll just dive right in. For my Disney Plus series pitch, one more time, pitch. I decided to focus on the only character I've been able to focus on since I first watched Star Wars. If anybody would like to take a guess, too late. It's Kylo Ren. Too late. It's Kylo Ren, but more specifically, Ben Solo. So I know a lot of people think that we had like plenty of Kylo Ren content and an exposition in the sequel trilogy, which I do agree with to an extent. But there's this whole side to Ben Solo that we haven't seen or really like heard of that much. apart from like a limited comic run from 2020, which
Yeah.
it was so good. It was such a good run. If you haven't read it, read it. It's so good. So I did some digging and I was like trying to match up ages, because age for Kylo Ren seems to be a really specific, like, not problem or qualm, but everyone's like, how old is this man? Like, how old is he? So because everyone knows like Rey's 19 and everyone's like, how old is Kylo? Why is he beefing with like a child? So it turns out right, okay, bear with me. Ben Solo becomes a Jedi apprentice at the age of 9, which is the same as Anakin, same age as Anakin when he is like officially an apprentice, which is great. Already brilliant parallels. We know where the Kylo Ren, Darth Vader parallels go. We love that. And by the age of 23, that is when he actually falls to the dark side. Like 23, my age, by the way, that's crazy. He falls to the dark side. And then in The Force Awakens, he's 29. So he's an adult. He's a grown man. Again, why is he beefing with a 19-year-old? Grow up. Truthfully, grow up. No, I think
the
there's
series is called.
what, beefing with a 19-year-old? Grow up.
Just grow up. A Kylo Ren story.
There it is.
You stole it. You stole it. You read my mind.
No.
No, not really. I do have a title.
Sorry.
But now it feels derivative. You come up with a better one. Mine feels derivative, and I'm upset. You've upset me greatly. No, I think there's a really fantastic opportunity to explore like a young Ben Solo's journey to the dark side, as well as like, we know that Han and Leia end up breaking up at some point after having Ben. And I just think that a series surrounding Ben would be a really nice way to include like the original 3, Han, Luke, and Leia, which gives Disney and Star Wars the opportunity to expand on their characters even further. And like, just truthfully, it would give us more than two versions of the same scene in one film, and like that's it. That's all you know about Luke and Ben and their relationship.
Yeah, and there's so much. There's gotta be
so much. Like, it's not quite 100 years between The Acolyte and The Phantom Menace, but there's a good few years to explore there. So for my title, which now I'm feeling insecure about because I don't think it's very good now.
No,
it'll be amazing.
It's just The Rise of Kylo Ren, which is obviously inspired by the comic run. Which again, please read it. It's only like 5 comics and it's really, really good. It adds so much context to why Kylo Ren is the way Kylo Ren is. And nobody knows it. I'm just here to plug this one comic run, that's it. So if we would like to hear a plot summary.
Yes, because I am immediately in.
Absolutely.
Okay, my immediate pitch wasn't amazing. I was getting a bit overwhelmed by the amount of content I did write down. If nobody else can obviously see the script, but Taylor and Charlie can, and it's like a block of text. I just got really into the zone. Okay, moving on to the plot summary. We meet Ben Solo at the age of 13. He's now a few years into his Jedi training. He's excelling ahead of his peers at Luke's training academy. But Ben feels the need to prove himself. He doesn't want his fellow Jedi in training to feel that he's favored for who his uncle, mother, and father are. Which, you know, he doesn't want to be a nepo baby. He really, really doesn't. He just wants to be seen for what he's good at and what he can do, and that's it. Just the poor boy wants to be seen, and I think I can't blame him for that. And I think if the series follows like the same 1 year later like formula that Andor did, which was absolutely phenomenal, I think there could be 10 episodes that lead up to his demise. So we start with Ben at age 13. An episode later, he's 14. An episode later, he's 15, up until 23. And then we see the true demise of Ben Solo and how he turns into Kylo Ren. He's not Ben anymore. Ben's gone. And I think this way we'd be able to see more depth of Ben's social, familial, and personal relationships, as well as how Snoke or the Emperor was able to influence a young man into turning on not just the Jedi Order, which I think people focus on a little bit too much for me. It's also, he also turned on the people he did truly love, like Leia. He's a mummy's boy, and I think we know that. And he turned on her because he was persuaded. And I just would really love to see this dynamic of how exactly it happened and how he felt, you know, he could just do that with, not necessarily with, you know, snap of fingers, but how it worked up. Because I think people push Ben's trauma as like to the side because, oh, he's Kylo Ren, he's just whiny and he just wants to be Darth Vader and blah, 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 blah. But he is like an actual character with like depth, but everyone's a coward. Nobody wants to explore that apart from me.
You know what?
I'm feeling very passionate about this. Like I'm getting hot.
To be honest, I have known about your love for Kylo Ren because I was the person that showed you The Force Awakens. I was with you when you watched it for the first time. I've seen the impact the characters had on you, and that was genuinely such a beautiful kind of hypothetical exploration of Kylo Ren's character. And I love how much you know the character and how much passion and energy you've put into this. I feel like that was so interesting to listen to. Regardless of the fan casting, regardless of the rest of it, you've got my vote and my money. Go make it, because oh my goodness,
make it.
Stop, you flatter me. I won't go like too much into it because I've realized I've spoken a lot this episode, but fan casting, I really struggled to cast for a young Ben Solo because Adam Driver is Ben. He's Ben, he's Kylo, that's it, that's the end of the discussion. But since I wanted it to be like a younger Ben, and I really don't want to see Adam Driver like CGI'd to be like 13 because I think that might be really uncomfortable for everybody involved. Like I'm not sure that's what anybody wants.
Yeah, that definitely ages very well either. So.
Yeah, it's one of those where you look back and you're like, that was really bad. Why did we let that happen? And it's like, well, because it needed it. I sifted out all the, again, Timothée Chalamet suggestions and the Finn Wolfhard suggestions, and I got to an article from Rebel Force Radio from about 5 years ago that suggested Caleb Malice as Ben Solo. And I have to say, I completely agree. I didn't know like who this kid was, and obviously he's a bit younger now because this was like from 5 years ago. But he is like, when you look at his headshots, he is bang on. Like that is Ben Solo to me. Put a few freckles on him, like it's uncanny.
Jimmy, I'm going to need you to insert a picture here, please, and thank you, because this is crazy.
What's his name? Caleb what?
Caleb Malice, Malis, or
Okay.
Malis.
Bear with me, everyone. We're all going to look at this at the same time because I have no
Live,
idea who this is.
live reactions, everybody, from the
Live
co-hosts. That's
reactions.
possibly the most
Oh,
fantastical suggestion ever made. There we
oh my
go.
God. Guys, are you looking at this? This is the young Kylo Ren
Yes.
right here. The
It's
hair and
crazy,
everything.
right?
Just give him like a
I
little bit
can't,
darker hair, maybe. Like a little bit darker.
right? Like, just grow it out a little bit darker.
Mhm.
That's fine.
Sydney,
Like,
this is perfect. Oh my God.
no,
Disney, hire us. We obviously
I
know it's
can't
going
take
on.
credit for that. I wish I could. I can't take credit for that. Shout out to Rebel Force Radio. I found their
Yeah,
website and
shout
I was
out to
like,
the guys at Rebel
that's
Force Radio.
so good.
It's so good. Hi, Caleb. Hey, if you want to come say hi to
Yeah.
us, definitely can.
Let us know if you're contracted for Star Wars anytime soon, because I would love to know. But yeah, that's pretty much my little pitch for a young Ben Solo, the rise of Kylo Ren. Sorry.
I
Taylor,
absolutely love that idea. No, I love it. Like, I want to hear about the traumas because
mhm.
people like there might be some people like, oh, I don't know. But think about the Cyril Karn storyline through Andor. That
Right?
on itself was so good, and we saw him grow into the person that he was, even though he thought he knew who he wanted to be. And we saw that through these horrible experiences and his incredible acting, which obviously Caleb will do the same. So I would be all over that to see what makes him turn into Kylo Ren. Like, yes, Sydney, yes. 5 stars.
I'm so glad everybody's on board. Thank you.
Right?
Absolutely 5 stars indeed. Taylor, the floor is yours.
Okay, well now I'm just gonna like super embarrass myself with my like hokey pokey thing. Um, well, as you guys know, I am like a huge fan of the High Republic, and that's
No
not a
way.
secret. Yeah, not a secret.
Oh my
My
God, no way.
cosplay is right behind me. I got to display it somehow, you know. But okay. So I got to lay down a little bit of the terminologies first. Okay, so I would like to call this Disney Plus show Pathfinders. And anybody who has read the High Republic books might already know where I'm heading with this. And we'll just go with this. Okay. The Star Wars, the High Republic era. We're not talking about Acolyte era. That's not the High Republic era. We're just going to go with that. That's Acolyte era. Forget that. I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but forget that for now. Star Wars, the High Republic. Pathfinders were Republic teams that explored the galactic frontier, establishing communication with new worlds and charting new hyperlanes. These teams, often led by a Jedi Master and Padawan for learning purposes, included a pilot, a medic, and an AS series Astra droid to be able to work on the ship and to send communications back to the Republic and known planets. Pathfinder teams were crucial in expanding the Republic's influence and introducing new worlds to the galactic community. So now that we know what a Pathfinder team kind of is, it's this group of people who are specialty in their fields, and they just go out and they're looking for new planets and new people. And when we're there, so I've got it all written down on that I'm going to hold right here. Like finding, like every episode could be a little bit different. It'd be like finding new star systems, new resources, like new medicines. They could explore looking for new fuels and like energy sources that they're bringing back to the Republic. And then we're getting word back to Coruscant, back and forth a little bit here and there. Sometimes the droids don't make it back, and it's like, oh, communication, we lost communication, whatever. And there's the Jedi are on this team, so there could be like a Force artifact episode where they're like digging into like something to do with, I don't know, they find a temple on a planet they didn't even know about or whatever. They could search up sciences, it'd be like adventure and like ship upgrades at different planets and stuff like that. And the Jedi could be like writing the archives for the like new testimonies and stuff for the archives and the temples and stuff. They're gonna be like pirates and stuff. But actually, I wanted it to be mostly based around one character that was like a stowaway somehow. So this character, I'm thinking like younger boy, I don't know, would somehow stow away on this, and he has to kind of learn what they're doing and where they're going, and we can't drop him off. And anyways, so that was kind of the idea that I started coming up with. I would freaking love to see that, like figuring out what, like they're measuring the different atmospheres, like, okay, we can't breathe on this planet, let's get this ready before we land, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm super into adventure, so
I was gonna say yours is like really like adventure in space, which I'm so here for. We don't have enough of that. Like ours were like, yeah, the traumas, the backstories, what they have to go
so depressing.
And you were like, yeah, so they're gonna have really like they're gonna have a lot of fun.
Right? I don't know. I feel like we just had Andor that was like so serious, and like people like are getting killed without even a second mention. It's like, was that him who just, it's like you gotta rewind it and see, because they don't even make a big deal out of it. And it's so serious and scary, and I mean not too scary, but you know what I mean? And this could just be like fun. And then actually, so a lot of you are probably thinking, Taylor, we've heard this already. And I pitched it to my husband before we started recording. And he goes, yeah, you can call it Star Wars, The Final Frontier. So I'm like, no, okay.
Oh, ouch.
So yeah, owie, right? So so instead of my idea being completely just stealing all of Star Trek episodes from ever, we would just wrap it more around Star Warsy stuff, like Twi'leks and like different kind of species, and like I don't know.
No, that's completely valid. Like every piece of media can be completely unique.
Yeah.
One of my big passions of like the Star Wars fandom, and particularly like the Star Wars books, is whilst I don't read the novels, I do collect things like encyclopedias and in character books and all of these sorts of things that contain information about the world and the planets and the creatures. I would
Yeah.
love to see a series that follows that. I love the concept of archiving, and especially like not just Jedi history, but it feels like Star Wars is a galaxy and even bigger than that. Let me weave into that and let me explore. And do you want to know something, Taylor? So when I thought up this question, the first thought that popped into my head, apart from Sydney will want a Ben Solo series, is I was like, I really hope Taylor pitches something that is the High Republic. Like, please, I need her to pick something that is the High Republic, because I knew it was going to be awesome, and it absolutely was. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But I honestly, like, I think that everyone got so excited with all of the High Republic books, and like they've been out for like 4 years. We're a month out from the last, barely a month out from the last book coming out in the whole series. Like we're ready. We're ready for a TV show. Come on, bring up Starlight Beacon. Anything. But yeah, I think that the Acolyte was, you know how we all feel about the Acolyte. Like it's Star Wars, we love the Star Wars. You know.
It started going. It was there.
Yeah, but I feel like they kind of took a wrong turn with it, and now people are like, I'm not going to read those books, because if that's what the High Republic is, then rah, rah, rah. And it's just like, no. Acolyte, High Republic.
I want the High Republic to be celebrated in the way that I know Star Wars TV series can. I think with the purchase of Lucasfilm by Disney and this introduction of Star Wars TV series, I don't know how much you guys know about kind of the history of Star Wars TV. It was things like the Unmentionable, the Unspeakable Holiday Special. It was the Ewok TV, like straight to TV movies. It was shorts on daytime TV shows that in like the 70s, and then Disney happened, and we've ended up with some of the most kind of impactful stories in the whole of Star Wars. And I feel like it's added such a new dimension to the Star Wars universe and Star Wars storytelling. And I would like to think, not to blow our own trumpets, but I think those are three really, really interesting, different, which I love. That makes me so happy. Ideas for a TV pitch. So, to all of our listeners and our viewers, we want to know what you'd want to see. We want to know if you like these ideas, if you'd change these ideas. And I genuinely can't wait to hear people's reactions. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, just don't make fun of mine. That's all.
No one will make fun of yours, and if they do, I will delete the comments.
We'll
We'll
never
fight
know
for you,
better.
Taylor. It's okay.
Hmm
I only want
Oh,
constructive criticism. No,
yeah,
just bullying, constructive criticism.
there you go. There's nothing
There's a
wrong with that.
difference.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody. I think that has been an absolutely wonderful discussion. And I do think it might be time to say goodbye. If you have our wonderful, wonderful listeners, if you have any questions or you just like your voice heard, then please do send us a DM on our socials or drop us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family. Follow us on all our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone who's been interacting on our socials. Denise Clough, I'm talking about you specifically if you're still listening to this far along in the episode. Thank you for commenting. Also to goodness me, I've forgotten his name, the actor who plays
Caleb
Ezra.
Mollis. No, what are we? I'm still talking about Iman Esfandi.
Thank you. Thank you. He also liked a comment that we made on one of his posts, and it feels like every single day we are getting more and more reactions from some of the most incredible people that we all admire and absolutely adore and obsess over on this podcast. And I actually can't quite believe that my life is real sometimes.
Oh,
Thank you to
I met Iman at Fan Expo Vancouver last year, and I taught him how to use a double-end lightsaber, and then he ended up smoking himself in his private crotch. And I haven't washed the darn thing since. No, I'm just joking.
Taylor.
But yes, that's on our
I adore
that's on
you.
our Instagram. Just go find it.
I just want to quickly say thank you for having me again. Thank you guys for having me again.
You're welcome.
I'm essentially a part of the rotating cast now. I'm like when a special guest enters on a sitcom and everyone goes woo or boo.
Yeah!
Either is fine. It's fine. Don't worry. And I want to say a really quick another shout out to Barry. I'm scared. Barry Gingle or Gingle. He did say he accepts Jingle at Christmas. So Barry Jingle, thank you so much for being so kind.
Amazing.
Another small thank you to every single person who came together to make UK Games Expo an absolutely fantastic time. An extra special thank you to Saber Guild Naboo Temple for continuing to invite me to these incredible events. I am unbelievably lucky. Taylor, you will be delighted to know that I have submitted my Jakku Ray 2 Rebel Legion as of this evening.
Yeah! Oh my god! That's awesome!
So now I will be refreshing my inbox every hour of every day until I get the blessed feedback, and we shall see.
You're gonna pass. It's gonna go through, so it's gonna go through. You're gonna pass.
Yeah, you'll be absolutely fine.
I hope so. And finally, you have been listening to Explore the Force. I
am a Senate.
As wise as Master Yoda, as powerful as Master Windu.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
I am going to end this once and for all.
Chewie. We're home.
You were the chosen one.